Good. And like we said, type in where you're hanging out from, right, Julie?
Yeah. We want to know. We're here in Los Angeles, California, and we want to know where you all are.
So go ahead and type in the box below where you're hanging out. It's going to be a lot of fun coming right now.
Yeah, usually on our webinars, we get people from certainly all over the United States, sometimes around the world, but of course it's different times and different places. So let's see where everyone is today.
Okay, I see people are coming in. It's funny, you get the link and then you join us in the chat room. That's how the technology works. So as you see on the right side of the screen, there's a chat box, and at the top it should say, welcome to the webinar. Type in below where you're hanging out. And we just want to make sure everything's working okay and let us know, like Julie said, we're here together. We're here in the same room, aren't we?
Yes, we are. We like to do things together, and that's great because we live together.
That makes sense. So go ahead, join us now, and go ahead and type in where you're hanging out. Just want to make sure everything's working okay. And I can see on the monitors there that it is.
Yes. I see people are starting to type in. Is that right?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead and type in where you're hanging out. I want to make sure everything's working. And, they are typing it.
Maybe you're not seeing it.
No, I am now.
Oh, okay, great.
So we've got Leslie's hanging out in Cleveland, Ohio. Can hear you and see creating the Juicy Habit. That's perfect.
Great. We've got Lai in Lancaster.
We've got Sherry in Sun City. Gosh, she's going so fast now. in Sun City, West Arizona. Stacy's hanging out in Colorado.
We got Pat in Moreno, California.
Inge is in Arizona. She's one of our coaches. Hi, Inge.
Hi, Inge.
Leslie, yeah, we mentioned you.
Catherine in Austin, Texas.
Pat in Moreno Valley.
I did mention Pat.
Is that your Pat?
I think it might be. Well, I think so.
I don't know if that's the Pat that Julie works with in her lawyer job or what.
I do have more than one job.
It might be, though. We've got Marie in New Jersey, so we're going coast to coast here.
Right, New Jersey, that's our home state.
And we've got Val in Houston. Kristen's hanging out in Colorado. Who else do we have, Julie?
We've got Doris in Albuquerque. James in Loveland, does that say? Colorado.
Hey, James. Maria's hanging out in New Jersey.
Another Maria in New Jersey. Wow.
Renee's in Chester, California.
Okay. Got Kim Polk. She didn't say where she's from.
Dina's in Indiana. And it is your Pat, Julie.
Hi, Pat.
That's supportive, you know.
It is supportive. I'm glad you're here.
Phyllis, hello. Pam, hello. Great. Thank you for taking the time to bring us into your busy lives. We promise one thing we can say is we're going to make it worth your while.
Yeah, I know there's so many things you could be doing with your evening. I know I had a really hard time at really busy time today at my other job. And the one thing I really wanted to do was come back and do this webinar with all of you. So we thank you for joining us.
Right. So I think we're ready to get to it. I'm going to close the chat room for now. We'll be opening it throughout the presentation. So just give me a second. I'm going to disable that.
Okay, great. And, in a minute, we're going to get to our kind of webinar keeping topics.
So we've got a great crowd here with us, right, Julie?
Lots of people. And what's exciting is that everyone who's joining us has bought the book. And so we're all starting sort of from the same vantage point, which is really exciting too.
That's just some webinar housekeeping that we like to start with. And first of all, please turn off your cell, your TV, your browser tabs, close them down for the next hour or so. We'll be with you for the next hour with a lot of great information. So grab a notepad, a pen. We've got some incredible information coming your way. You're not going to want to miss it. Actually, what we've given you entrance to here is what's going to be a paid product for our Juice Guru program. So we're not holding anything back. No. I'll put it that way.
No.
So it's going to be very useful to help you reach your juicy goals. Or we're going to make a special offer that can assist you on your path. And that might be something that works for you or maybe not, but we will mention that at the end of the webinar. And first about us, I'm Steve Prussack.
And I'm Julie Prussack.
And right together, we're Juice Guru.
That's
together,
right.
we bring this to you. And my first book was actually The Complete Idiot's Guide to Juice Fasting, released that a few years ago. And together, you already know.
Right. We wrote Juice Guru, Transform Your Life by Adding One Juice a Day. That's my first book, Steve's second.
And I'm the host of iHeartRadio's Juice Guru Radio, which airs to hundreds of thousands of people, and I get to interview people in the health and juicing movement. It's a lot of fun.
Right, and if you haven't checked out Steven's, radio podcast, he's got great guests. We also do Juice Guru TV. It's our webcast TV show, and we've got quite a number of episodes out. And so if you haven't checked that out, you can check that out on our website, juiceguru.com.
Right. But, Julie and I go way back. We actually met when we were just little kids. You might have heard our story, and if not, we're just going to share it a little bit. I mean, we met when we were 15 at a dance, and we started dating, and we dated through high school.
Right. We were high school sweethearts, but as it is, we went to different colleges in different states, and unfortunately we ended up losing touch. And about 20 something years later, we found each other across the country in California. And I'm really excited to say that we are now married and back together. So, and Stephen has brought so much to my life, a life of health. So
right. You can see my teenage scribblings at the bottom, Steve plus Julie. This was actually a Polaroid. That's what we had in those days back in the late 80s. And I don't know if anyone else remembers Polaroids, but it wasn't, we didn't have the accessibility we do now.
No. And we just went over our qualifications, but we put this picture up because we wanted to really let you know that in reality, we're people just like you who struggle to maintain our career, our life, our family, to keep our health, and really to keep at a good weight. So everything we talk about are things that we've discovered that work for us. And so we want to share it with you.
And Julie actually brought me a family because she brought me a stepson who that's Eli right there. And that was us at the wedding, how many years now?
About 4 years.
4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I should know that, but I'm a little, it's been a long day for both of us, hasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the outline of what we're going to bring you through tonight and creating the juicing habit. When you signed up, we're going to cover the top 5 questions that have come in from readers like you, meaning juicing and weight loss, juicing to fight disease, our favorite juicers, forming the juicing habit, and of course, we've got the Try Best Lifestyle Package giveaway, and you do have to be on this webinar to receive it. So that means the odds might be good for you because we only have a fraction of people that are here that actually wrote reviews, that are actually live on the webinar. So I have to say right now, your chances are good, do you see? And here's what will happen when we call, we've got a hat here with names in it. And if you're not here when we call the name, we'll just go on to the next. And that's the way that's going to work.
Right. So now, as promised in this webinar,
we're going to actually talk about the book. And I want to open up for a survey. I'm going to enable the chat box right now because I'm going to put in a survey. Actually, I don't have to enable the chat box, but I'm going to start a poll. What I'd like to know right now is if you've had a chance to read the book yet. Some of you might have ordered the book and it's still on its way. Some of you may have skimmed through it. So I'm going to go ahead and start this poll. So the question is, have you had a chance to read Juice Guru yet? So the choices are yes, no, I started it, or I'm still waiting. So let me start the poll now.
Right. And give us your honest answer. There is definitely no pressure on you to have read the book. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit about, if you did read the book, then great. You already have that behind you, but we're going to go beyond it. But we're also going to, delve a little bit into it. So we just want to see maybe, where you are in your journey.
Catherine just received it in the mail. Hi, Inge. Yeah, I guess enabling the chat room was the wrong thing. If you click on the right side, there'll be the poll. I think it should be on your screen. There's like tabs on the right side. You've got the chat room, you got polls. So just go. So I see, okay, I'm going to end the poll because I think we have enough answers to you.
Sure,
and,
yes.
Here's the thing, Julie. Everyone is going to be able to see the results in real time. So I'm going to end the poll right now. So, oh wait, there's still some coming in. So that's the thing also. People came on the webinar a little late. They're hearing this in a delay. So we have to take into account that whenever we make an announcement. So let's go ahead. Are we ready to end the poll now?
Yeah, I think so. And it looks to me like a good number of people, about 38%, have read the whole book. About 70% haven't. That's fine. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And a good number, about 38% more, started reading it. And a few of you are still waiting for it. So, but as promised in this webinar, we're going to delve deeper into creating the juicing habit. We're going to answer a lot of the questions that we've gotten from you. And in particular, this is really exciting. We're going to dive more deeply into some of the concepts in the book that we weren't allowed by our publishers to take any further. Now, that means we're going to give you some specific recommendations that we didn't give you in the book. And you'll see what we mean once we get into it, right, Steve?
Right. So for those of you, 17% of you, or the 8% we can understand, but the 17% of you that haven't started or finished reading the book yet, what are you waiting for? It is the first step you need to transform your life, and we mean it, because we're already seeing so many reviews climbing in. For example, let's talk about this. Ali Sanchez wrote, "A must-read for possibly the easiest way to transform your life."
Right.
You
Now,
see that?
we're not saying this to toot our own horn. We're saying this because we want to encourage you to read it. So let's look at what Sharon Smith wrote. She wrote, for someone, let's go to Sharon Smith, for someone who has juiced for many years, I never really made it a daily habit until I read The Juice Guru. I've dropped a few pounds without trying, and I truly feel better. I am grateful to be making daily juice a habit, and very grateful to find it has been easy to do, which is great endorsement, because that's what we meant to do with it. Now, Juice Guru has been called a unique and one-of-a-kind juicing book, and the best juicing book I've ever read. So again, if you haven't read it, get started. If you haven't finished it, get finished.
Okay, and for those of you who haven't, here's a quick overview. And even if you have, let's just reinforce some of the ideas of what we cover in the book. Now, we motivate you with all the reasons that you should juice every day for your health, vitality, and longevity. And the thing about it is, everything we put in, why do we daily juice? Why is we back everything we put in the book up with research. We literally bust the myths around juicing, and we show you how to create a juicing habit.
Right, because there's a lot of myths out there.
We break down what to juice, why to juice it, how to do it effectively, and of course, we give you lots of recipes, including our Juice Guru template recipe.
And that can create literally dozens of recipes just from the one template.
I'm going to get a drink of water too.
Now, we'd like to start right now by covering some of the more prevalent questions that we've been getting from our readers, and that's you. Now, this is the fun part, so let's get to it. So the first question that we hear a lot is, how exactly can daily juice help with weight loss? Now, weight loss was something that we weren't allowed to say too much about in the book, and that's because there haven't been specific studies that track weight loss when a juice a day is incorporated into your life. But the fact is, there is tons of anecdotal evidence that you will lose some weight with daily juice. Now, not a tremendous amount, but some. But even more importantly, daily juice is going to ensure that you keep weight off even as you age.
How do we know? Well, we've seen it. It works for us. It works for our clients, and it's been documented in films, and it will work for you. I mean, for example, in the couple months, if you go to Amazon right now or later and read some of the reviews, we've already seen that people are already losing weight with just the one juice a day and talking about changing nothing more in their life. Now, of course, you can lose significantly more weight on a detox, a cleanse, or a juice cleanse if you do it right, of course. Now, we highly recommend taking what we call a juice break several times a year. We lead cleanses in a program that we call Juicing Survivor, and we do that a few times throughout the year. Our next one's coming June 9th.
Right. I mean, it's true. You can lose, I would say, as much as 10 pounds in 10 days on a cleanse. But the more important question is, what happens when the cleanse is over? Many juicing leaders out there encourage you to binge, right? Eat whatever you want, and then do that between cleanses and just reboot or cleanse and get rid of the excess. But that, we have found, and obviously you probably know, it can really mess with your body systems.
Right. So, yeah. And if you know, we're going to open the chat room for this one. So type yes in the box on the right side of the screen if you've had this happen to you, if you know what we're talking about here, right, Julie? Because that's something.
Yeah, and it has happened. Let's be honest, it's happened to both of us. I mean, Steve, you've spent a lot of time, many years doing juice cleanses, and you would wonder why. Why do I gain weight back and have to do another juice cleanse? And, you know.
Right, that was the journey. I was on that. It was like a yo-yo pattern cycle. So I'm wondering who else. I'm looking at the chat room right now, and let's see. And again, it's on the right side of the screen, so you could just type in, yes, it's happened to you. I thought we're really interested to know.
Well, we should say that according to a survey that we conducted before we launched the Juicing Survivor program, about 100%, I mean, if you can believe it, 100% of people gain the weight back within a few weeks if they don't incorporate anything else.
Yeah, see, so people are typing in, yes, Rebecca says it's happened to me before. So yeah, we get that. We understand what that's like. Daily juicing is the solution to help you maintain the losses from a cleanse, and it really keeps you off the yo-yo diet, what we like to call the yo-yo diet roller coaster. Right?
Right, there it is for you, the roller coaster.
That's the roller coaster right there. I mean, we know what that journey is like, the up and down and even some twists and turns, and it's kind of depressing.
Mm-hmm.
So how exactly does Daily Juice solve this problem? How does it help you to lose weight and maintain your natural weight? Well, the morning juice that we're talking about, it definitely has something to do with it. This helps your body and its systems and metabolism to work optimally. I got an email from this just yesterday, so I hope you're on the webinar. Like, why in the morning? Why can't I just have the juice with a meal or right after breakfast? And it really does make a difference. So in turn, it does help you to maintain your healthy weight.
Right, that's because it's flooding your body with nutrition. And what you're talking about, right, Steve, that first thing in the morning, it's because if you're doing it on an empty stomach, you're really incorporating so much of that nutrition, so much more than you would if you had it with a meal, right?
Right.
And it's even more than that, though, right? Juicing every day it actually helps you to change your palate. You actually will crave healthier foods. We've had this happen for us for sure. And so while we tell you in the book that you don't have to change your diet, and it's true you don't, to get the benefits of Daily Juice, it's more likely than not that you will want to change your diet because you're going to crave those healthier foods, and that's going to get you even more benefits.
Right. Well, we hear that all the time, just about wanting to reach for a fresh apple rather than the bag of chips or, the comfort foods that are just so easy and accessible and just in every supermarket.
Right. And similarly, you're also going to be so much more in touch with your body. You're going to realize how much better you feel when you nourish your body this deeply. I mean, when we drink our green juice in the morning, we feel so great. We want to feel like that every day, all the time. So it means you're going to want to keep putting healthy foods in your body. You're going to want to keep feeling that way. It's that simple.
I mean, you know what it's like, because when we first got together and I introduced juice, I mean, you didn't even want a green juice. You were repelled by the idea, but that's common. Like a lot of us, when we first start juicing, we want the sweeter apple-based or carrot juice or the fruit juices and things like that. But when did you see the difference of, because you were having it with meals when we would go to a restaurant and you'd have some of my juice, or right? You remember? But then we changed the protocol when we started experimenting with this. And what did you personally experience?
Well, like you said, it took me a long time to get into the juices. But once I did, we started switching it up to the real green juices. And then I changed it to the morning, like you say.
On an empty stomach.
On an empty stomach, a rush of energy. When I used to have it with my meals, I didn't feel it that much. So you definitely want to make sure you do that.
And we're drinking water, not juice, unfortunately. Right. I'm just having a little bit of water. Thank you. So, you can lose more weight with Daily Juice by, what I like to do is make a large green juice in the morning, about 32 ounces. And for me, it becomes a meal replacement. You, like Julie, if you're like Julie, you might want to add the morning snack.
Yeah, I can't wait till
mid-morning or so.
I can't wait till lunch.
But I can, and for me, it's enough to sustain me. And it depends on your goals. It helps me to maintain the weight that I want to be.
Right, and you'll lose more.
For you don't gain weight as quickly as I do, right?
That's true. And we give you some suggestions for that, right, on page 21 of our book.
Exactly. So, depending on what size juice you make, if you're not looking to lose weight, if you're happy, or if you want to maintain your weight and you're like me and you gain weight kind of quickly, then I like to go the 24 to 32 ounce route. And
for me, I want to maintain my weight, but I do get hungry. So I keep it at probably about a 24 ounce juice. And I always include at least a nice healthy snack mid-morning. And again, page 21 of the book gives really good snack ideas that are both delicious snacks that I like to eat and also that are really healthy for you.
We're actually about to launch a new interactive program that we've been emailing a lot, and you're on our email list because you're signed up for this. So you might have heard about it. But we're going to get more specific in that program. I'm mapping out a personalized blueprint for you if you join. And if weight loss is your goal, that's a good route. We'll tell you more about that later.
Okay, but now let's get to question number 2. And that's, I get that daily juice gets me more fruits and veggies in my day, but how does that help me fight disease? And this is a really great question. And in fact, we received a number of questions right along these lines asking us much more specifically about what to juice for a host of specific ailments, specific conditions. On this webinar today, we can't possibly get to all of that. And we do want to keep our responses general because we want it to apply to everyone. So the answer we're going to give you today is to juice those veggies that are known to be anti-inflammatory. And that's because inflammation is scientifically proven to be a huge factor in chronic disease. And that's from Alzheimer's disease, it includes heart disease, cancer, everything listed here.
Now, what do we mean by chronic inflammation? We're not talking about the kind of inflammation when you get a bump on your head and there's some swelling. That's your body's beneficial and natural response to immediate trauma. We want that. It's protecting our skin. It's really a built-in mechanism. We're talking about chronic inflammation, which is a silent enemy that really stops your body's ability to turn off the beneficial inflammatory response and begins to start damaging your own healthy tissue.
Right.
So the more you can juice veggies, proven to be anti-inflammatory, the better. And we recommend as our #1 go-to juice for overall health and preventing chronic inflammation is the Juice Guru Daily Classic Template Juice. It's on page 108 of the book. And well, here it is again. Let's show them, Julie.
Right. You can see the ingredients here. These are the 5 core ingredients. And almost every one of these 5 core ingredients are anti-inflammatory. And that includes the cucumber, it includes the celery, the kale, and especially the ginger. Ginger is a really potent anti-inflammatory. So you cannot go wrong with this recipe. And of course, when you read the book, you'll see that you can really mix up the template recipe so you never get bored. But these are really anti-inflammatory. And we'll be delving more deeply into juicing for wellness, again, in that program that we were talking about when we launch it, if you choose to join us for that.
So moving on to question 3 of the top 5 questions that have come in about our book. In the book, we mentioned that fruit sugar is different than isolated sugar in processed foods. But how much fruit juice should we be drinking? And again, this is another great question, and one that the Juice Guru Medical Advisory Board actually continues to this day to be split on.
Yeah, they do.
In fact, I would say that juicing and wellness experts across the board are split on this important issue. It's really so many different opinions about this. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow, actually, I released it on Facebook today in our social media, but tomorrow on our website, we release a new Juice Guru TV show that's focused exclusively on this topic. You can check it out at juicegurutv.com. You can find it on our website, and you're going to love the show and what we did here.
Right. We really get into it in that show. But right now, let's just start with the basics. Now, there are certain situations where juicing fruit is almost always a no-no for you. If you're the first one, if you're looking to lose weight, then you should stay away from excessive use of fruits in your juices. Now, you may not experience, and we talk about this in the book, the spikes and the dips in your blood sugar levels from fruit sugar. And again, that depends on the kind of fruit, but you'll still be taking in significantly more calories than if you just stick to vegetable juices. And of course, we all know more calories means making weight loss that much more difficult. So in that situation, just stay away from the really sweet fruits.
If you're diabetic or have blood sugar issues, then we advise you skip the fruit juice altogether completely and speak with your healthcare professionals. We're not doctors, but we do have a medical advisory board, and we've been going back and forth on this issue. And so we want to bring you the most up-to-date, cutting-edge information we can, which is what you find in the book too.
Right. Well, you showed that slide before. We definitely did a lot of research, and in particular, we did a lot of research on fruits and fruit sugar.
Now, other than those 2 situations, we don't say you should completely avoid fruit. You'd be surprised to learn that just about every fruit out there is low glycemic, which means that it doesn't greatly affect your blood sugar. Most people don't realize that.
Right.
Actually.
Now, that's true. And you just hear a lot of things from people who don't really aren't fully informed on what they're talking about with regard to sugar and gaining weight and obesity epidemic. But as Steve said, most of them are low glycemic. Now, there are a few notable exceptions that you want to keep in mind. And these are medium glycemic. There are no high glycemic fruits, but these are medium glycemic fruits. They include tropical fruits like pineapples, mangoes, papayas, and melons. Now, we love those juices. We definitely do, right?
Well, I don't know. We don't juice mangoes or
no, we
papayas.
Do. We may add it to a juice, but we definitely
more so in a smoothie, I would say.
Right, but pineapples and melons, we love those juices, and we know scientifically they have great benefits for your body. But you're going to feel a difference when you juice those fruits, right, Steve?
Right. Like, remember, Julie and I mean, we've definitely grown more into just green juices without any fruit in them. But remember that time we had the cantaloupe juice, and right after we had, I don't know, it was 24 ounces or something, maybe even more.
Might have been 32.
Of cantaloupe juice. Were we on a juice cleanse?
Yes, we were. And that's why it affected us the most.
And we got a headache, both of us. We're like, oh my God. And it was like probably within a few minutes of drinking the cantaloupe juice. And cantaloupe juice, with all its nutritional benefits and phytonutrients, it was still way too much. You could almost feel a crash, right?
Yes.
It was too much. I'll just put it that way. In the book, we talk at length about research that shows that some of those things are good for you.
Mm-hmm. Fruits like berries and apples, well, they contain phytonutrients. This is another thing that we learned, we talk about in the book. We researched that berries, apples contain phytonutrients, and that inhibits the absorption of sugar into your body.
Right. Well, that's the reason most people feel great from a morning green juice, even if they include a couple of apples for sweetness. It's not a big deal.
Right. Now, when it comes down to it, here is our recommendation. And this, I mean, it's not just our recommendation. This is how we practice our daily juice habit. It's daily green juice. Now, we love it. We love it without any fruits at all. And it took us a little while to get there, but we do, except for a couple of lemons. Now, you can love these kinds of juices. With cucumber and celery base, we get refreshing, salty flavor. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that celery is salty, and it provides a lot of just really natural, very beneficial salt in your juice. You can add cilantro, basil, jalapeno. We've been loving the jalapeno, right? And you get an awesome tasting juice that really doesn't need any sweetness.
Right. We also believe it's fine to add an apple or two to your daily juice to make it sweet. For some people, that's the only way they like their juice. And when I first started juicing, my first juice fast, actually almost 30 days, I did carrot apple, mainly carrots, and they're hybridized and very sweet. And I did great on that. Mm-hmm. So, it's really up to you and your body where you are on the journey. But if you've read our book, you may have noticed that Chef Babette Davis, the 65-year-old mastermind behind the pulp recipes, which people are raving about, she includes apples in her juice every day, and other fruits too. Mm-hmm. She has no blood sugar issues, no chronic disease, and is more muscular and fit than most 30-somethings we know, actually.
Right, or maybe even some 20-somethings. I mean, I think, Babette, you're on this call. You look awesome.
She's not on the call.
Oh, she's not?
No.
Oh, I thought she was getting on the call. The bottom line, though, for you guys, now, once you become an experienced daily juicer, you're going to know for yourself how much you want to include the fruit juices. And that's the only way we figured it out, and the way that you'll figure it out too. Just follow the guidelines that we've just outlined, keep it in moderation, and you're going to do fine no matter what you do.
And this information on sugar is subject to change. Remember, we're always evolving as students, that we all are. And so staying abreast to what's going on, keeping in contact with our medical advisory board, we're going to fill you in on the latest information on that.
Right. I have to say that is something that we have definitely continued to do. We send out often our Tuesday tips, or we'll include it in our web TV show, but we stay on top of all of the latest research, and we're going to bring it to you. We'll continue to bring it to you whenever we have that. So let's get to the next question, question number 4. So you gave us a lot of information in the book to pick juicers, and we did do that, but we were very general. And when it comes down to it, people want to know which specific juicers we recommend.
Right. Well, the thing is, we weren't allowed to recommend any brand of juicer in the book, but here on the webinar, we don't have any restrictions. And the answer is that we recommend 2 specific juicers, depending on where you are in creating your daily juice habit and your specific needs.
Right, and we base these recommendations on our years of juicing, more importantly, Stephen's years of juicing. And Stephen, you've used pretty much every juicer out there, right? We've owned them all at different times. So our number one recommended juicer, and this is for the beginner juicer. This is people who are just looking to create the habit in the first place and to do it more easily, and that's the TriBest Slow Star. And in fact, that's the very juicer that we're giving away with the lifestyle package today. So why do we recommend this juicer above all others for daily juice? And there are several reasons for that. First, just take a look at it. It's vertical, it's an upright juicer. They're not all like that. And that means it takes up very little space on your countertop. And that's important because it means that you can keep it out on your counter instead of underneath it with the dust and the cobwebs and whatever you got under there, just forgetting about it. And we know that those items that you do keep out on your counter, like think about it, your coffee maker, for example, you're much more likely to use those things every day. So you want to make your juicer that way.
Second, this juicer is a mid-price juicer with excellent versatility. We love that it's great for greens and fruit, because some juicers, and we know, like Julie said, we've been through them all. Some maybe they're good for greens and maybe not for fruit, or the other way around. Some can't handle fibrous veggies like celery. And I find even with this Slow Star, I love to cut up the celery. It just seems to work a lot better.
Right.
But this juicer handles everything relatively well, and it produces a good amount of juice. And finally, it's relatively easy to clean. And cleaning the juicer is one of the biggest hurdles to making this a daily habit. People are like, oh, I got to clean it up now. So
I have to say that's the number one thing we hear from people. Now, the other juicer that we recommend is the TriBest Green Star Elite. So this is number 2. This one is the juicer that we recommend for people who want to take juicing to a little bit more of an advanced level. And in fact, we're going to be recommending this juicer for those of you who join us in our new program. But what's different about this juicer? Well, first of all, you'll notice that unlike the Slow Star, this one's not vertical. So it will take up more space on your counter, which is why we don't make it the beginner juicer. But we use it just about every day, and we're still able to keep it out on the counter. We keep it in the corner where it is in our face. It is calling to us, but it doesn't get in our way.
Right. And, this juicer has a higher price point than the Slow Star. And the thing about that is you make up the difference in significantly lower market bills. The thing is, this juicer can produce close to twice the amount of juice as other juicers. At least that's what we found. And the pulp that comes out of this juicer is literally like sawdust. It's unbelievable. The quality of the juice is phenomenal. It's enzyme rich that can actually last for up to 3 days in your refrigerator, and I love that. You don't want to do that with the Slow Star. Actually, somebody was asking me today about that. You want to drink that juice within a half hour of juicing in the Slow Star.
And that's true of most juicers. I mean, most people will ask me, when do I have to drink my juice? With most juicers, the answer is right away. This is kind of a not too expensive option to have those juices stay into the refrigerator for like 3 days.
So it's a huge benefit for those who feel the biggest barrier to daily juice is their hectic schedule. You can just juice a large amount one day and enjoy it for the next 3 mornings and not worry about it again. And that's really nice. You just juice, fill a mason jar close to the top, tightly seal it, put it in the refrigerator, and you're good to go.
That's right. Now, the only drawback to the Elite is it does take a little longer to clean than the Slow Star, but it is doable, right? See, you and I, we do this as a team. And so it's great if you can have something.
Well, it's also that it becomes a habit, because at the beginning, it took us a while. And like with any new habit, that could, a lot of times in life, we might quit things before we even get deep into them because of, it's taking so much time. But when it becomes a habit and automatic, well, then what?
Right. Well, then it is just something that becomes a no-brainer. And that's what's going to make it go for your entire lifetime. We're going to talk about that in the question 5 about creating a daily juice habit. But we wanted to mention finally, why do we recommend TriBest juicers? And it's because they're made extremely well. They work great and they'll last. And really importantly, Stephen, right, they come with a long warranty, because the last juicer you had didn't come with a long warranty, and that was a problem.
Oh, right. So similar juicer. But the thing that is, like what I was leading up to, though, was the reason we make it into a habit, and now it takes us about a half hour to juice 2 24 ounces. That includes prep, juicing, and cleanup with the Elite. I meant to mention that. But the Slow Start carries a 10-year warranty, the Elite a 12-year warranty. So you can really keep these machines for the long run, and TriBest backs them up. And why so much about TriBest? And of course, they sponsor our TV show, and we've developed a relationship with them. And the reason being, and when I went into their office, really it was about my connection. Because when I started juicing, my first juicer all those years ago, over 20 years ago, was the TriBest Green Star at the time. And they've been part of my healthy journey right from the beginning. And you remember when we went in there, I was like, I almost started crying, right?
Well, we didn't want to recommend anything that we didn't believe in. So
exactly. That was the intention.
Exactly.
So moving on to question number 5. Or is that, how come I have 6?
I don't know. It is question 5. That would be a typo.
It's a typo. I need help, and this is the last question.
That's right.
I need help making daily juice a habit. We hear the same question in different ways from so many people. The most common complaint is, I'm so busy and I just can't fit juicing into my busy life. I can't get up earlier. I've got to get to the gym. I've got to get to work. When do we fit it in? We're just like you. We come up with those struggles and challenges. We're not perfect.
No, we definitely aren't. I mean, if you are having trouble fitting juicing into your busy day, I mean, like Steve's saying, let's face it, there are definitely days where we are struggling. Then you need to take the steps that we've outlined in the book to make a habit. I mean, we're not going to mince words, right? There's just no getting around it. And since all of you have the book, you can and you should definitely go through those steps.
Well, that part of the book really goes deep into human psychology on habit formation. Because it's not enough for us to know getting healthier is, I know I should do this. I hear it. I get the information. It's doing the tactical exercises we have in the book that's really going to make it a habit. And we can start that right now, right?
Yeah. Well, creating a habit is definitely, what's it going to do for you? It's going to ensure that you're going to make the time to keep juicing throughout your day, even when you get busy. We want it to become almost automatic, right? So
throughout your life.
Right.
Today, we want to take the first step with you, okay? The first thing you need to do is to make a public commitment to be a daily juicer. Science shows that you're more likely to stick with something if you do this. So here's your one homework assignment from today's webinar, okay? And as soon as we're done, physically write on a piece of paper, I am a daily juicer. And take a picture of it. You can do it so easy now with your smartphone or whatever, and just post it up on Facebook, on Instagram. You can tweet it. Here, you can see I did that last night. Just the same thing on my Facebook wall.
Right, and a key part of this is that you do need to write this in your own handwriting, and that's because research shows that when you write something out in your own handwriting, you're committing to it much more deeply than if you just kind of typed it or something like that. You're making much deeper of a commitment. So this is going to get your subconscious ready to make a habit. And more specifically, it's going to make it subconsciously very difficult for you to fail, because your subconscious, it doesn't like to be inconsistent. Now, we've talked about other ways, right, that you can make forming a habit easier. Much of it comes down to the juicer that you choose. We just talked about that. If you choose one that's easy to keep out on your counter, to use, to clean, you're going to be much more likely to succeed.
Take a breath. It's been a long day, right?
It has.
Okay. Well, Julie, like we mentioned, she has another job. So what was your day like today?
My day was very hectic, as Pat, who's on the call, probably can attest to.
She's doing this now. How?
And on top of that,
she works her 9 to 5.
That's right. And then I have a naughty child. But go ahead.
But she's such a valuable part of Juice Crew that we can't do it without her. We just keep dragging her back here.
Thank God for daily juice.
Right. So let's get back to the presentation.
Yes.
Right? I needed some water because my throat is dry. Okay, if finding time in your schedule is the problem, then you're going to need a cold press juicer that allows you to store the juice for a few days, like the Elite, a juicer like that, because we're finding that that's helping us with a lot of the issues we're having with daily juicing, making it for 3 days and we're good to go.
Right. And in fact, my mom just said this to me recently. My dad and my mom, who I can't say that they have had a lifetime of healthy eating, but they have been very interested in daily juice and been struggling a little bit with how to make it a habit. And I'm really excited that they want to. So the one thing that she mentioned to me was it would be really great if I could make the juice one day, keep it for a few days, and not have to do it again for a number of days. So if that's your situation, then you want to keep that in mind when you're creating your habit.
Great. Well, that's all we wanted to cover today with this part of the presentation. We're going to go much more in depth with creating a habit and creating personal blueprints for success. But
we're going to do that in our new program, right, Steve?
It's our special new program, actually.
And it's called The Juicy Life, Reawaken the Radiance Within.
Oh, you want to give away the title? But it's actually funny because I shared this on Facebook, so some people already knew. I remember I put that up. Would you be interested in this?
Oh, that's right. No, I was at work today.
Yeah.
But we mentioned a few times today that we're launching this program. And Steve and I, when we sat down to talk about this webinar, it really wasn't our intention at all to give you any kind of offer. We just really wanted to talk about the questions that you had. But when we saw how many questions and how many great questions we got in that really asked us to go a little bit beyond the book and beyond the covers of the book, we thought that it would be great to invite those people who've actually read the book.
So this is something that might resonate with you, and if it does, great, and if it doesn't, great. Whatever works for you. There's really no push or anything. We just, like Julie said, we've been emailing. We were going to get this out to a small group of people, and if you've been getting those emails, then But it really was, should we mention this or not? We're going to mention it, and then we're going to get to the Try Best giveaway. So basically what we're doing here is gathering a small group of people like you who are serious about reconnecting with their youthful energy, health, and youthful weight. We'll be mapping out a blueprint to achieve your lifelong transformation, not short-term, but lifelong, using your goals and specific questions along the way. And we're going to empower you to create a daily juice habit far beyond what's in the pages in our book. It's going to be very interactive.
That's right. It's going to be very interactive. And like we said, we're going to go beyond the book because we're also going to be incorporating the other important factors in living a juicy life, as we like to call it, including better food choices. That's really important. Everyday movement and exercise for busy people. I mean, my other job, I sit all day on the board, and on the board I sit on, and most people will notice that I will get up and down a lot while I'm hearing things. But anyway, also creating a positive mindset. We're going to get into that too, because that's really important. We'll be meeting virtually once a week for 5 weeks, and we're going to be hanging out, trading tips, motivation, and stories in what we like to call our new virtual juice bar. And emailing personally with you. I love that image. And emailing personally with you so that we can find out what your goals are, what your questions are, and we can tailor the blueprint to you.
Right. We also are including the Juicing Survivor program with that, which is starting on June 9th. We're going to include it with the program so you can get your transformation.
We talked about that earlier.
Right, that's why I mentioned that. So we're not launching this to the public, and you're the first to hear about this. Few people that are on this webinar, actually the numbers have gone up since we've been here, but the few people that are here, we're opening it. So I'm going to just put the offer on the right side of the screen right now, just so you can see it. There's a web page that will, oops, I had it there and then I took it away. But what you'll see there is a web page that we'd like you to look at. With Julie and I have a video where we talk about high school reunions and things like that, right? We talk about aging and what's that like to reconnect with old friends, right?
Right, a little bit of our personal experience.
Right. You'll enjoy the video, if anything. So go ahead and you can check that out. I'll put the link back up. Let me just put that up on the right side. There it is. The doors are open and the journey can begin for this select group. So I think we're going to get to our grand prize drawing. Isn't that right?
That's right. I'm really excited about this part.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is going to take a little shift in technology because we're going to actually go live, which is going to be fun.
I know a lot of people in my family who desperately would love to live this lifestyle, to win this lifestyle package, but can't because we're not allowing any family members to enter. But this is going to be exciting for the person who wins it because it's a fantastic. Oh, are we on?
No, we're not on,
okay.
But you can adjust your hair, which I don't need to do.
We did say I had a difficult day, so when you see me, don't judge.
Okay, let's some people might have come here just to hear this presentation. I mean, just to get the see if they want this lifestyle package. Let's talk about what we're including.
Okay. Well, we did talk about before, we're going to include our #1 recommended juicer for the beginning daily juicer, the one that we think helps you to create, right? To create your daily juice habit the best, and that is the Tri-Best Low Star. What else?
We've got the Sedona dehydrator right there, the Sedona Express. I love this. It's digital display, the most accurate dehydrator. Plus, it's got the glass door in the front, so you can see when you're produce or fruits or nuts or whatever you're dehydrating, or recipes from the Juice Guru book. The pulp recipes are perfect to go into this.
Right, and that's why everything in this lifestyle package is designed to make you the best daily juicer ever. So that's for really good food choices like we were talking about.
And then the Dyna Blend, which our friend John Kohler, he's actually going to be on the next, maybe the next or the one after that, Juice Guru Radio. And he just did a thorough review of the Dyna Blend, and it is, in his opinion, the best blender out there, above all the other ones. And one of the biggest things about it is the glass. It's glass. There's no breakdown or degradation in the plastic that you're going to find in some of the other high-power blenders. And he ran some tests on it, and it's pretty amazing.
Right. And about making yourself the best daily juicer ever, we do recommend, obviously, we have lots of smoothie recipes that are awesome in the book, and we recommend smoothies not to replace your daily juice, but definitely as an addition we talked about healthy snacks, even as a meal replacement once in a while if you're really looking to lose weight. So again, this package is the ultimate package if you're a daily juicer.
Okay, I'm going to turn the cameras over to us now. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready.
Okay, ready? And we're going to come live. Well, we've been live. We're going to be even more live in a minute. Ready, Julie?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, and hey, there we are.
Hi.
And here's where it all gets done. And there's our cat, Remy.
Not our dog, because he was going to bark.
What I've got here, if you've seen our TV show, we always have something magical, right?
Yes, we do.
What do we have here?
This actually was in one of our TV shows. This was
Remember, Julie, look at the camera.
Oh.
We're not used to that.
I'm not used to that. This was like our beer guzzling way we drank juice in one of our first episodes. But you can show everybody, if you can tip it, that everyone who wrote a review, as promised, no matter if it was, we only received 5-star and only like maybe 1 or 2 4-star. So, but it didn't matter what you did, you were entered. So we wrote your name in here.
Here's the thing. We've got to, we're going to draw the names, but you've got to be on the webinar to win it. And so logistically, I've got to see if, you can raise your hand. You can raise your hand. You'll see on the right side, you want to go back to the chat now. Let me check if they can go back to the chat.
Okay. I'm just going to, while we're waiting, I'm going to mix them up.
All right, let me turn off the offer. I'm going to turn off the offer for now. And we're going to do a little Q&A after this too. So stay tuned for that. Let me turn the offer off because I think that way they can get back to the chat room.
Let me just say, because that's really important.
This is going to be important.
Well, what Steve just said is really important because when we're done, and we decide who is the winner by pulling your name out of the hat, literally, we are going to come back and we're going to continue to talk about any of the questions that we did not cover, because there might be a number of, we're going to open up the chat room. You can ask us. That's the Q&A that
we're
we
looking
promised.
down. Do you see us?
Yeah, that's the Q&A that we promised.
We're looking at you now. We're not looking at our screen.
Shall we go?
Yeah, so the chat room's open. One sec. We want to, here. look what CJ said.
Oh, thank you.
Or CM.
CM. For someone who had a hectic day. Oh, that's really nice. It's the daily juice.
Got to complement the juicing contents in your snacks and meals to keep the weight. Got to complement the juicing contents in your snacks and meals to keep the weight off. Do you get that?
Got to compliment.
Oh, I think that was from the question before.
Okay.
So that means that it's working.
Okay, shall we go?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I want to make sure they can raise their hand. Let me see how they raise their hand.
Stephen is not only the presenter of all of our webinars, but he is the technical expertise behind everything.
And I've never done this. We've tried lots of different things for our giveaways, and this is a first. Last time, I don't know if you were there, but we had people call in and that was a disaster. So this time, this is the most fair way.
Yes, we think so.
So this is what's going to happen. If your name is called, you're going to need to request to speak. On the right side above the chat box, there's a button that says request to speak, and that's the way it's going to work. Okay. So we're going to know you're here, and we have to give it a few seconds or minutes because there's a delay.
Right, so don't worry if we're standing here for a little while and it seems like an eternity because we're waiting for you to respond.
We're waiting for you because there's a delay from when we present the name and time goes by. So
shall we?
Yeah, let's
mix it up.
Why don't
you do it? I mixed it up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I don't want to drop it.
I'm going to let Julie pull the name.
Oh, okay. I'm not even going to look in.
And as we said, you have to be on the webinar to win it.
I got one.
Okay.
Linda. Oh, God.
Mickaninch. Linda Mickaninch, are you on the webinar? Let me just see if there's I'm going to scan through and just see.
My mother wrote these out while we were working today. Linda
Mickaninch.
Mickaninch. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like Linda MC,
and here's the thing.
capital ANINCH.
Here's the thing. I don't see a Linda, and I don't see a hand going up. So that leads me to believe that Linda's not here. And if Linda, you are here and your hand's just not going up, type in the box. It's just so we know. Okay.
Do we need to wait for a response?
Yeah, I'm giving it just a couple minutes.
Guru of technical things?
I don't know. This time, this is a new way to do it.
Okay, we're going to wait a few minutes. Linda, see, I'm showing.
All right, I'm going to say we're going to have to move on to the next name. And
okay.
Linda, you see it on the replay. We're sorry. Remember, I sent out the email to say you had to be live to win it.
Yes.
So we're going to move on to the next one. If you're with us still and if you're on the edge of your seat, type yes in the box just so we know the chat box is working.
That would be great.
We want to know that you're alive out there tonight. Okay, babe.
Oh, wait, Linda. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Linda. Well, that makes sense. She's there.
Linda. Okay.
Okay. Well, Linda, you are the winner. And
sorry to everyone who did not win, but you did hear a lot of great content, I hope, today. And we're going to get to your questions in a minute.
Oh my gosh. So that's a winner, Julie, right there.
Okay.
And now we don't have to keep looking down. Linda, okay, so Linda, what you're going to do is email us at support@juiceguru.com with your mailing address. And we hope to see you, and if it's a good match for anyone else in the Juicy Life, we've got the offer back up. And we're going to take some Q&A. Actually, the chat room needs to be open for the Q&A, though.
Yes.
So the website, actually, I put the offer back so they can click there. You can click there now. I'll make the offer available one last time before we shut down. I'm going to remove the offer from the right side of the screen so they can type in their questions. That's the idea, Julie.
Okay. And we'll put it back up because you're definitely...
And congratulations to Linda. How about that?
Yay, Linda.
That must feel good. I wonder if Linda has a juicer or if she's new to juicing or what. And Linda, if you want to come on the webinar live, I'm going to go ahead and invite you as a speaker. You can even come on with just audio, and we'd like to hear from you and hear about your journey and what this means to you. But so I did invite her as a speaker. So we're going to get to the Q&A now. I'm going to have to turn the offer off.
Okay. But you'll want to come back to that because, it's up to you, but it's going to be a fantastic experience.
Well, as you'll find out, that is not open to the public, and this is a small group of friends, so we'd love to have you on that journey with us.
Mm-hmm. And keep it really intimate so that we get to know you really well.
If you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the box there. Anything that we covered during the webinar, anything about the Juicy Life, anything about going beyond the pages of the book, anything that you want to type in, then go ahead. We want to thank you for coming here and being with us during this great time.
Maybe there's things that you're struggling with, right, that we did not get to tonight because obviously we wanted to try to contain this to the major things that we've seen. I see people saying congratulations. People are very kind. Congratulating Linda.
And the funny thing is we actually almost went on to the next person a little prematurely, I guess. But I'm surprised we got on the first call.
You know, when you're doing something like this, time, it seems like if you take one pause, it's an eternity. So anyway.
Okay, we had a comment from Inge. Just want to let you know I love to put mint into my green juice in the morning. That's something we can try.
Mm-hmm.
You've tried that in some of your juices, right? That one with mint, the sweet greens.
Yes,
that is mint.
That's true. I really do like mint. Mostly I love cilantro. I love it with lemon offsetting it, and we've been really loving the jalapeno. So should we?
Well, jalapeno, yeah, that surprised me. I'm not into spicy food, but I love the jalapeno juices. Okay, question came in from Pat. What do you think of prepping the night before and juicing the next day?
Well, there's a lot of things you can do the night before, and we actually do recommend that as part of the habit-making part of the book, which is you want to make sure your juicer's out. You want to make sure it's all put together because there's all these different intricate pieces. You want to make sure that you have all of your, accoutrements or your instruments out. Like we like to rinse and clean all of our produce in a big giant bowl, which we put apple cider vinegar into, about a quarter cup of that, and squeeze a lemon into. So if you want to put all that stuff out, your salad spinner when you're doing greens, things like that, that will help you do it. But as far as cutting any vegetables, I would wait till the morning. What would you say, Steve? Because you don't want to lose a lot of the nutrients.
Right, because there'll be nutrient loss. So
Right.
we would recommend not to do that and just wait till the morning for that. So read that one.
Right. We're big believers of doing as much as you can at night. So what about, so Sherry asks, can frozen veggies and fruits be juiced?
Right. And, the thing about that is there's a process before they freeze the vegetables and fruits, and they're actually boiled often. And so as a result, there is the nutrient loss before they're frozen. So we always recommend using fresh, and whatever that means for you, we recommend organic first. If it's not in season, but we recommend local, and we recommend looking at the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 when it comes to juicing. We're going to put up a chart on our website. We've been meaning to do that, of the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen when it comes to juicing. We're going to use that as a resource, but we're always going to recommend to do it fresh. It's never going to be the same with the frozen. It's just not.
It's not. And I honestly, I'm not sure, Steve, if you ever tried it. I don't even know how a juicer would handle a frozen fruit or a veggie, but a blender can do it well. And
there might be a thawing out.
Right. So if you want to put it in your smoothies, you could probably try doing that.
Yeah, that's usually what we do. Okay, let's see. Nikki said, glad Linda is here to claim her prize. No excuse to not juice now, Linda. Well, I would agree with that.
Oh, that's great.
So CM said, is there any way you can provide the nutritional content of your juice recipes in the book or on your website, perhaps? That's a great question. And, in my first book, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Juice Fasting, we put nutritional content for every single recipe in there. And, the thing about that was it had to be generalizations, because there's certain things that you can't take into account, meaning if you've got organic produce versus conventional produce. Organic produce typically has more vitamins and minerals, and that's just going to ruin the calculation. And there are other things that make it difficult to ascertain how much nutrient is in that juice. Isn't that right?
That's right. So, but I don't know how helpful quantifying it is. You get a lot, but I think more helpful, if you go through the book, you'll see that we have called out a lot of studies, actual research that shows you for particular types of things you want to juice, like kale, for example, or even grapes. Concord grapes are great. And the nutritional benefits you get from juicing those kinds of fruits and vegetables. I think that's a little more helpful.
Right. But I would recommend The Complete Idiot's Guide to Juice Fasting if you want a real nutritional breakdown of all the juices, because we hired a researcher to go in and do the studies, and it's as close to accurate as any juicing book has been on it. And that's what a lot of our reviews on Amazon say. A lot of people were impressed by that.
Yeah.
And we had some media around that as a result.
People love that book.
That's really cool. Okay, what do we got?
Hard to give up my morning coffee, Wendy Wright said. I want to address that. And the reason why I want to address that is because some people might not want to give up your morning coffee. I like tea, to be honest. I know Steve.
Green tea, right?
Right, green tea. Steve gave up his tea because he didn't want the caffeine. But the great concept behind daily juice is, again, you're not juice fasting. You're not giving anything up. And the reason why we do it that way is because it's so much easier to create a habit if you're not, and research shows this, if you're not giving anything up. So you can have your coffee, but we recommend the first thing you have is your juice, and then wait at least 20 minutes.
But the thing, you know, I was addicted to yerba mates, and I was drinking them throughout the day. And what I found was, and it was through cleansing and going deeper with my healing and health, was that the caffeine actually is like a drug. And once I was able to get off it, and getting off it was not an easy process. I went through a horrible, like 2 or 3 day headache, really severe, which also gave me the deep insight to realize that this isn't something my body should be resonating with. We shouldn't get a headache when we eliminate something from our diet. So I knew this is a drug and I need to get off it. And what I found though now in replacing it with my daily green juice is that I have a more sustained, clean energy that sustains me deeper into the day than I don't have the crash that I would get from the caffeine. And so for me, it works. I've been trying to get Julie to get that, but you know, she's on her path and I'm on mine. Isn't that right?
That's right.
And just like you are. Marie says, will the Juicy Life Blueprint cover getting enough nourishment prior to her morning workout?
Good question. The truth is, we oftentimes go to our workout in the morning before we eat anything and after we've had our juice. And when we do that, we feel way energized. We get plenty of energy and plenty of nourishment. So yes, we would be covering that and so much more that would be tailored to your specific questions, just like that, Marie.
Your body really changes. I mean, once you get into the Juicy Life, your body changes as far as when really detecting when you're hungry. Like, is it emotional eating? Is this something my body really needs? And then we are able to distinguish. So we're able to get to the gym with a lot of energy in the morning without even putting anything in the body, right?
That's right. And the Juicy Life Blueprint, we're really going to go through your specific questions, your specific goals, your specific lifestyle, and really help you map out and empower you through your own personalized blueprint. So yes, the answer to that is yes.
Okay. Usha says, do you consider combining alkaline and acidic elements together in a juice? Is that healthy? And again, it's almost like that sugar thing. We've had opposing viewpoints on our advisory board about that one topic. And one of our, a doctor that we really respect and work with, his take on the food combining is that once you break the food, and this is someone that's been doing juice fast since the 80s, leading juice fast. He's a naturopathic doctor. And actually, our medical doctor, too, felt the same way, that when we break the produce down into a juice, it's not as much of an issue for our digestion. Food combining doesn't become as much of an issue. But when it comes to, was that acidic? Or was that another question?
It's this.
Alkaline and acidic elements in a juice. Yeah, and typically we make alkaline juices, right? We don't really do much of the acidic juices. I don't think we combine them in our recipes in the book.
No, and we actually have a section on the fact that vegetable juices in particular are very alkalizing, and what that does for your body. So yes, we talk about that in the book, and most juices are going to be alkalizing.
The name of the doctor that I was referring to is Dr. Stephen Bailey, and he's got some juice fasting books that you can find on Amazon, and he's part of our certification program as well. He's done a couple of modules with us. So he's amazing and a great resource. And the other doctor is Dr. Thomas Lodi, and you find him under Juice Guru, under our advisory board on the About Us section with links to their websites. Dr. Thomas Lodi treats cancer patients.
Why don't we take a minute to do you want to put the link up again? I know maybe people have their questions answered. They might want to go, but they might want to be reminded where they can get this link. And also, you are on our mailing list. We're launching the program, the Juicy Life Blueprint, for the first time, as we said on this call, because we thought, given all these great questions, that people who've read the book probably might be interested in this particular program. But we're not really launching it to those people who we were planning to invite until tomorrow.
Yes. And lemon is actually alkaline, just to answer that. And as far as saliva, it goes a lot deeper than that. It's not the saliva that makes it alkaline. What did Catherine say?
Catherine. Okay. You know what? If you could read that, it's a little.
Once I started juicing in the morning, I didn't care to add my usual organic coffee to my tummy after consuming the green juice. After a week or so, I loved waking up and jumping into the kitchen to prep my juice. I felt the same energy type that I used to have as a little kid again. I love that.
Thank you, Catherine, because that's precisely what we want for all of you, and it is what you'll get.
Now, Kim asked, and I'm going to put the post up, and Julie, we've got the juicylifeblueprint.com below, so it can always be typed in. We don't have to put the link right up, so I really love to get through these questions.
Okay, great.
And because if we put it up, they can't type in anymore.
Gotcha.
So is it necessary to do a juice cleanse before starting a juice regimen? And, that's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. And the answer is no, it's not necessary. But we find that it is the best way to jumpstart any new habit. And why is that? Well, because when you're doing, for so many reasons. Number one, when you're doing a juice cleanse, we call it a juice break. We just feel it feels better when you call it a juice break, and that's what we really think of it as. When you do one of those, you're making juice several times a day, or you're making a lot of juice in a juicer like the Green Star Elite, and you can keep it for a few days or for all day. But in any event, you're really starting to get to know your juicer. You're getting to know how to prep your fruits and vegetables, how to wash them, how to clean your juicer. And like Steve and I were saying, when we started, for example, when we switched from the Slow Start to the Elite as our daily juicer, at first it took us a really long time, but now we've got it down to a half an hour, and we make 2 24-ounce juices. So that's one reason. And another is it's already changing your palate. We talked about that. So when you're consuming nothing but raw fruits and vegetable in the form of juice, and a lot of it, your palate is going to change. And of course, you're going to lose some weight, and that's going to really help you. Any other things you want to add to that?
No, but it is something we recommend, and our advisory board recommends 4 times throughout the year. Most doctors that we work with agree with that. And, we like to do it with the changing seasons. So like we've got our Juicing Survivor coming up with the changing seasons, right? This is our summer cleanse, and it's included with the Juicy Life Blueprint. And it the amount of time, right? Even if you just took a break for 3 days,
Sometimes that's what I do.
It doesn't need to be a long-term. See, we found with the daily juicing, you don't need to. I've done 30-day juice fast.
Yes.
I find with, this protocol and just, juice cleansing about 3 days, maybe 5 days, 4 times throughout the year is all we really need. That's really the secret to it.
And I'll tell you, I'm really thankful for that, because personally, I don't have enough gumption, I don't think, to stick it out longer than, I think my longest cleanse was 5 to 7 days, but I like to do it several times a year. So yes, it's a great jump start. It's a great tool.
Well, like we said, we've had this offer on here, but this webinar is a standalone product that we're going to be putting out with Juice Guru. So we really wanted to dive behind the pages of the book, and we hope that you feel you got a lot out of it. And we really enjoyed interacting with you and the questions that have come in. We just love connecting, don't we?
I have to say, I love the questions that came in. I love what everyone had to say
smart people.
For Linda. So, it's up to you, but I would really love it. I know I would love to interact with you. And I hope that you join the Juicy Life Blueprint, because then we get to know you even better.
Yeah, it is truly the inner circle and a way for us to come together. And we talk about it sometimes. You can really feel alone in the journey. And what better way to connect with like-minded people and build community together to really make a change, influence others, support each other. And then with a group like this, and a small group like what we're going to do, and to be supportive of each other, I can guarantee this is something you've never seen before, and something I think it's going to be the best thing that we've ever produced. So
yeah, I love what you said about Steve, about joining together with people and not feeling alone, because that was one of the inspirations for Juicing Survivor. And that was when we wanted to make sure people who wanted to take a juice break could take it with other people. And we had a virtual group where people interacted, and it was really great. This is the first time we're doing that for people who want to start a habit. And we always say it's easier to start a habit if you have a friend or somebody who's on board with you. We have each other. It makes it really easy for us, but not everyone has that. So this is a way for you to get connected with other people.
And the other thing about this is, though it's 5 weeks of the training and content, this is going to be an ongoing thing, the Juicy Life, and you're going to hear more about that. But this is, phase 1 of getting closer in, and then we're going to go deeper and support each other throughout the year, be each other's guru, and it's really exciting. This is really where it's all going with Juice Guru, and we want you to be part of the journey. Like I said, And you'll see on the video on the website with Julie and I that we filmed yesterday, because we didn't know that we were doing this tonight. But you'll see we just talked about this isn't going to be open to the public. This is only open. You're the only ones hearing about this, and we've only had about 50 people on the webinar out of the reviews we had. It's actually a pretty good turnout, but we've had hundreds of people who bought the book, but not everyone signed up for the webinar. So I really take it seriously that you've shown up here, that you're still on the webinar, despite the fact that we gave away over $1,000 in prizes, that you really care about your health. And that means something to me. That means more to me than the people, that just jump on something to see for themselves, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm getting at? I don't know if I'm communicating it right. But.
It's been a long day, but I think that shows that we're still so excited about this despite our long day, and it's really because of you. So.
Right.
And we thanked you at the beginning, and we really want to thank you again for giving us the time that is so valuable to you.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got the link there. I want to remove the offer now so they can type goodbye. So we can, have closure in all this. And then I'll put the offer up one last time before we sign off. And I've got the chat room open. So we're going to go ahead and sign off for the night. But hopefully this will be the beginning. So once you sign up for the Juicy Life Blueprint, what's going to happen is you're going to get immediate access to the membership site. We've got unannounced gifts in there that we haven't even advertised with it. You'll be able to join the Juice Bar tonight, our private community, and you'll be able to start interacting for something that's very small, and it's going to stay small, like we mentioned in the video. So you'll see more about that in the video. But that's what's going to happen once you sign up for the program.
Izzy Catherine saying, golden rule number 1, clean your juicer first, then drink your juice. Couldn't agree more. And then you can really sip it and enjoy it. Oh, is that Usha?
Thank you, Usha.
Thank you, Usha.
And we want you to be part of the vibrant living life.
That's really encouraging.
Georgia, thank you so much for your excellent book and your contribution to upgrade the health of the planet. And thank you, Georgia. We thank our mentors, and Jay Juiceman Cordich, who took me under his wing and helped me, on my journey, and created the School of Juicing with him, and Steve the Sprout Man Meyerowitz, and Dr. Jameis Sheridan, all the people, my brothers that really, filled me with the knowledge to help spread and pass their words on, right? Isn't that what this is all about?
Yes, and I'm thankful for you who brought this to me. So, yes.
Okay, little gratitude is always good. And I'm glad, Kim, thank you. We're so glad you liked it. And like we said, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of this is the tip of the iceberg, what you say?
Yes. Now, is that Val? Val asked, is there a deadline for signing up?
Yes, this will only be open for 4 days, and then we're closing it. And once it's closed, it's closed. And that's our group. What we do with the program in the future, I don't know that we'll ever do this program again.
Maybe not like this.
Maybe not like this. But then it's going to go into a more consistent program. So it's phase 1 of the deep trainings.
That's right. So yeah.
The download.
And the reason why we're only opening it for 4 days is, again, we do really want to keep this small. So we're only inviting, those people who we really think have been with us for a while, or like you, have read the book, and who we really think will contribute a lot, and we can make this a small group that really interact a lot. So that's why we're going to only open it for 4 days. We have Diane, thank you for the book and webinar. Sherry, thank you, both rock. See, this is our tribe, right? This is the people that we want to hang out with. These are the people that can change the world. So thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much for your book and this webinar. And Anne-Marie said thank you both. Thank you, Anne-Marie, and thank you for coming. Sherry asked, can you start with 8 ounces of juice and work up to 24 ounces? And what amount of time do you recommend to drink the juice in? And absolutely, 8 ounce is a great place to start and work your way up, because 24 ounces is a lot of juice to drink. We don't drink it at once. We sip it. We sip it throughout, for me, about a half hour. Maybe you drink yours a little faster, Julie? I do. I drink mine very fast. And I don't know why, but I do.
What amount of time do you recommend? So like we said, with the Slow Start juicer, you want to drink the juice within a half hour. With something like the Elite, cold pressed juicer that maintains the integrity of the juice, then it's fine for you to, sip that, keep it in a cooler and just sip it throughout, a day or two.
Right.
That's fine with that.
Yeah.
No one asked, but it's something Jay Kordich always talked about freezing their juices. I know that's something he and Linda did. They would freeze their juices after they pressed it, and then they would bring it to work the next day, let it thaw out. That's not something we've done. We haven't even tried it, but it's something you might want to consider.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to, at the end, everyone's saying thank you, and again, we're the ones who are thanking you.
Oh, Catherine just received it today.
Okay. Do you want to put back up the offer? I know you wanted to do it at the end, but now that we know everybody's got their closure, and we're just so glad you joined us and that you stuck around to the end, and that makes us feel really good.
Thank you, Marie. Thanks for getting the juicer back on the counter, the Omega, and looking forward to a healthy summer. Thanks to you both. And it's going to be a healthy life. Thanks to everyone. And thanks for being part of this. So I'm going to go ahead and put the offer back up for the Juicy Life Blueprint. And if it resonates with you, join us. Come closer. Let's just make this the beginning. And if not, then you've got the tools. You've got the book. You've got this webinar, and you've got your juicer, I hope. And if you're ready to upgrade, let us know. We can always get you a great deal on a juicer. We partner with Elite on that, so we can get you
TriBest on
TriBest Elite, TriBest Elite.
No,
Julie, anything to say in closing?
Just what we've been saying all along, and that is I'm so encouraged by the questions we got, by the comments we got, because it really shows me, and by the reviews, by the way. Thank you all, even if you didn't win, for your amazing reviews. I have to tell you, I've cried from some of the reviews, and
Both
it's only
of us have.
right, and it's only because Steve was more sensitive than he lets on, but it's only because that's exactly what we intended from this book, was to do what we're hearing in these reviews, and that is, to help you make it easy, to make it a habit, for you to be motivated. And people are saying that's what
you never know. When you're writing a book and you're locked away and you're going through this grueling process, then, we tried to reach out and get help. I know, CJ, you might be on the call. We reached out to you. When it came down to it, we had to just put our hearts into it, buckle down, and make this happen. And we did it, but we didn't know what would happen once we put it out there. So to hear the feedback that's come in, we're just honestly blown away. It's opened more doors for us to get the message out. So we thank you for that. We're so much gratitude for that.
So it's really just the thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for bringing your wonderful questions, and thank you for listening.
Okay. Well, the website's live. You can join us, and we'll see you on the other side. Much love to you.
Much love.
Remember,
juice, share, and love.